Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. I'm hanging out with the one and only Laura Pizmoht for City Council. I don't know if that's it. Are we in the camera? So, love it. So, to be clear, we've known each other a while now. This is probably like going on 5 years or so.
Yeah, I think so.
The reason why we do these videos is because James Schleicher hates politics, but understands that just because I don't pay attention doesn't mean they go away. And you're a great example of, hey, if we don't do something about the political climate, then things don't just get better by ignoring them.
Yes.
So I trust you as a human being, and one of the things I will say is, like, if I handed you my children, now granted it would probably be a very stressful day for you and your family, you know, having now 5 children
Yes,
to look out for.
lot.
But I would have a very stress-free day because I trust you. I trust I trust you guys. So
I trust you too. So
oh,
that's
thank you.
why I'm bringing my 3 children to your house later today.
Okay, all right. So apparently we now have a babysitting timeshare thing going on here. But so the biggest thing is, yes, I trust you as a human being, but also too, you know, I'm a huge believer in certain people. Just because you're a nice person, just because I trust you, doesn't mean you're the right fit for city council or the right fit for mayor or the right fit, you know, whatever it is. So that's just been, if I am not in my realm, I try to just remind myself, James, this is not your talented place to spend your time. So let the professionals handle it, kind of thing. So so that's what I want to share with everyone that is okay. Who do I vote for? Why should? And so if I'm gonna even if I vote for Pizmoht, why? Like what? So one of the things that we'll run through is actually 3 main things is professional. So we're gonna talk. What makes you qualified? Okay, so what makes you different from me? Like what, to where I run for city council, I am not qualified. You run for city council, extremely qualified. And again, I know a little more about your background, but we'll share that. Principled, so we'll share a little more about what that means, and proven results. I am a results guy. So anytime, talking to you, talking to other people that I know in politics, that have a track record of results, that excites me because that's what I don't like about politics. I don't like talking about problems and then meeting next month to talk more about problems and but taking no action. So,
sure, absolutely.
So I'm ranting right now. There's also, this warms my heart. I'm over the moon with this. So Rich Harmon. He is the one, I met him through the Humane Society, been on the board of directors with him, and then, which you are also on the board of directors for them. But I always say he's my community godfather. Like he was the one, I remember being at a United Way event, and I was the ticket guy, I was the raffle ticket, I was the guy walking around the bucket, didn't know anybody, and just the whole day, he's just like, oh, hey, James, you gotta meet so-and-so, So like, Rich is, I think, he is the central hub in the community of, like, again, connecting the right people for the right reasons. And I think when we talked about in politics, you have to have a great filter of weeding out what is just absolute nonsense that's coming your way, and what is the actual truth. And I feel like Rich is a great, he has a great ability to read a person and read the information that they're coming. So, for him to he literally just put his whole testimony to you. I love you, Rich. I love you.
Me too.
So I think that this is something where, again, it's not just me saying vote for Pizmoht. It's not. It's also someone who has basically dedicated his entire life to the Willoughby Hills as
our
fire chief and everything. So, have I ranted enough? Have I rambled enough?
I think so.
You just got Schleicher. You just got rambled. So let's talk about professional. What does that mean to voters? And then what do they need? What makes you different from the person that you're running against? And just kind of, if you could just bring it up.
Sure.
What does that mean?
Okay, so being a professional person is important, I think, in politics, especially at the local level, because I think a lot of times in local races, the person who is popular wins, and that's what all we really think about. Who do we like? But we really need people, hopefully, that we like, but also that bring a professional background quality to the table and can handle disputes, because a lot of times politics is about disputes. Running a government, there are disputes and disagreements, and being able to understand that these are not personal, that we can have different viewpoints on how to solve a problem, but that we need to listen to each other and sit at the table like we would at work. And when I'm at work, I don't always agree with my colleagues. I don't always agree with, we should handle a problem at work this way. Maybe I have a different idea, but I'm not going to yell at them. I'm not going to, spread the lies and rumors about them to make people hate them. I'm just going to, we're going to try to collaborate and cooperate. So that's one level of professionalism. But I think having real experience in a professional, with a professional background that actually applies to the job, because when we're running for office, we are applying for a job with the people. So the people are the employer, and as a candidate, I am the applicant, and the other candidate is an applicant. And so this is all in the public realm, and we're jockeying for a job for you, to work for you, in front of you. And so everyone sees our resumes, and everyone sees our interview process, and everyone, it's our jobs as candidates to tell you why you should hire me, or the person that we're advocating for, rather than someone else. And so that's why having a professional background is important. And for me, I am an attorney, and I worked for a Fortune 500 company. I worked in our tax department there, and I worked in economic development. So I negotiated for the company with state, local, and the federal government to decide where to invest that company's money. So that is something that I can bring to my city, Willoughby Hills, and I have. So and being and understanding what real economic development takes, what it really is, and having that knowledge really allows me to make real policy and do the real work and understand what really needs to happen so that we can bring good businesses to Willoughby Hills. So that's just one aspect of my professional background and why I think being professional is important.
And so you've been in those heated negotiations, and there's been, because also too, when you were at that Fortune 500 company, it was your job on the line if you didn't if you didn't get the result, so like that, I think that's cool too, because so like you're applying for to be employed by the people, saying that, hey, I've already done this, I know how it works, I'm asking that you just let me do what I'm very good at.
Right.
You know what I mean, so it's you're not asking them like, hey, this is kind of outside my comfort zone, but I'm cool. You know that. So like just like it's not a. I think back to like the middle school, high school, like class president.
Yeah, right.
Stuff, like just like, well, so and so's like so cool. I'm gonna vote for them. So
well,
like,
I am very cool. But
so this. I'm not trying to take away. So it's like
that's really not the criteria.
Correct. Especially, you are. Because I know Willoughby Hills, the taxes have gone up.
Oh yeah.
So you're citizens are paying more, and it's okay. Well, to what extent you just keep paying more money for the cool kid in class, or whatever.
Right, to do nothing.
So why not get the cool kid that also gets good grades in that class, that knows what they're talking about, if that makes sense.
When we were talking about, so I negotiated on behalf of a Fortune 500 company. So my job was to help the company get what it needed from these cities, states, and the federal government. So, but understanding that relationship, I bring that to the taxpayers of Willoughby Hills. So I am now advocating for the taxpayers of Willoughby Hills with these businesses. So I am now working for the city government. Now I'm negotiating with the businesses about what's in the taxpayers' best interest. So not only when it comes to economic development am I advocating for the taxpayers, but everything I do. I am the representative of the people of Willoughby Hills, and everything I do is about what's in their best interest. It's not about promoting myself. It's not about hurting anybody else. It's not about what sounds good. It's about what in every situation, what is the best result? What should I advocate for? What should I do? What should I make happen that is going to be in the best interest of the taxpayers of Willoughby Hills, because those are the people I represent.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Thanks.
Excited.
Me too.
So, very cool. Well, anything else to add to that professional pillar?
Yeah. Like I said, and I think it's just having that broad understanding of what the job really entails, being able to understand this isn't personal, and you can't take it personally in politics, because if you do, you're going to run away screaming and crying, because it's not easy.
I'd be crying somewhere by myself.
Yeah. It's hard. That part is very hard, but I think just always just remembering what you're there for, and being and having that background, I think, is really critical to making sure that you're doing the job of the people, because again, the people, the taxpayers of the city, or whatever the government, the state, the federal government, whatever, the voters are the people who are hiring their officials through the election process. So that's what this is about. It's about hiring the right professional to serve you.
Awesome. And then two, when people think Pizmoht, they're going to think Willoughby Hills. And then when you're talking about the different opportunities with different governments, organizations, and businesses, so like you building that relationship. If I'm thinking, okay, well, I want to move my business to a different city. Where should I go? I'm not thinking, okay, Willoughby Hills, Kirtland Manor. I'm thinking, okay, Lord Pizmoht, I really trust her. I'm going to call her first. So I'm not even, obviously, I'm giving Willoughby Hills an opportunity because of the relationship I have. Is that correct? Is that kind of the goal?
I think that when I'm talking to other to business owners or to other officials, I think that my base of knowledge, my ability to have these conversations, and my advocacy for both the city and the taxpayers, an understanding of what the businesses need and the other governments need. I think that that creates a trust relationship and a good reputation for me, but also our city, which is, I think, again, something critically important and something we might not think about when we're choosing who to vote for. That we're not thinking about how is that person going to represent our city in these other contexts, not just sitting at the council table or shaking my hand at the polls.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Exactly.
Hey, how's it going?
You want someone that has a good. But that's a good point. I mean, if someone is warm and approachable, they're going to be warm and approachable in those other contexts too. Correct. So there is some aspect where that is important. So if you get a good vibe from someone when you're shaking their hand at the polls, that's not totally worthless, but it needs to be backed up by a professional experience and someone who can at least communicate that enough to the voters that they understand that exists.
You need to hire, if you're looking for a certain quality, certain skill set, you are hiring the person with the resume that has, you're not hiring that person that has, their experience has nothing to do with what actually the job requires. So
Right.
Get a professional.
A professional.
All right, very cool.